Establishing structures and routines for the remote environment is needed to implement successful instructional practices. The next set of slides will introduce you to multiple elements highlighted throughout this Structures and Routines notebook. These elements will provide ideas and resources to help you as you continue to provide instruction in the remote environment.
We hope that through the utilization of these ideas and resources, you will be able to establish remote environments that are predictable, flexible, connected, and allow for student empowerment.
In order to implement remote instruction, some basic structures, either district or school-wide, need to be put in place. These structures allow teachers, students, administration, and parents to successfully navigate and engage in remote instruction. Some examples of these structures to think through are: what are the expectations for synchronous and asynchronous lessons? This includes from the teacher's perspective, as well as any other teaching assistants or related service personnel. Are there office hours that teachers are offering? When are they and how are they accessed? What is the tech support available for parents? And what are the basic tech skills for students? Are there options for non-tech resources? That might include the collection of those resources and the distribution of those resources. What is the learning management system that your school or district is using, as well as the video platform, and how are those used? What types of communications and documentation of those communications are expected? This might include parental contacts or documenting student engagement. And lastly, what happens if students need additional supports? What are the structures in place to allow teachers to report these needs and access those needs for students? For any structure that your school or district might be thinking through, you always need to consider the why or the purpose of that structure. Who is involved? What exactly is it? When is it going to be accessed? And where or how will it be accessed and used? The learning management system is going to be the hub of the student and teacher interactions. There are many options, such as Google Classroom, Seesaw, or Canvas. But regardless of which option your school or district uses, there are some standard components that you should think through. When considering the learning management system, what are the structures around your social stream? How will students interact in a social manner using your learning management system? What is the setup of your classwork and assignments? Are they grouped by topic, by week, by day? Where can students find, access, and submit their work? As well as teachers, where will they find students' submitted work, and how will they post work for students? Also, using your learning management system for digital and non-digital assignments is important, and setting up structures to allow students to be able to note if something is digital or if something can be completed in a non-digital manner. And lastly, what is the workflow for the learning management system, from assigning to student submission to getting feedback and grading options? While it's critical to think through those structures for the learning management system that allow for access management and use, it's important to understand why teachers and students are using it in a structured manner. One of the things to consider is that everything begins and ends in the student learning management system. This includes all digital and non-digital assignments, links to other platforms or resources, and as the way that students submit their work or mark an activity as done. And why is this important? Most of all, it creates a predictable workflow for students and teachers. It's going to allow for the creation of classroom routines that promote student independence because students know how the system works. It's a central location for all work, feedback, and grades. It also provides some built-in tools that are going to help teachers and students manage their assignments, how they receive feedback, and grading. And lastly, and most importantly, the student learning management system is going to allow teachers and students to quickly move from in-person to remote instruction because it's the same system whether you're in person or at home in a virtual setting.
It's important that students have basic tech skills established within the remote environment. This slide lists tech skills to consider, but is not an exhaustive list. Reviewing and modeling these skills for students can help with engagement in the remote environment.
Included on this slide is a link to a checklist that can be used to prepare teachers and students for a transition to a fully remote environment. Though this checklist utilizes a Google platform, this type of checklist could be adjusted to meet the needs of any building or district. It can be used to ensure everyone is on the same page when the need to pivot instructional models occurs. As you use the Structures and Routines notebook moving forward, you will find there are asynchronous materials and other useful resources for you to view and use for your specific needs. These materials are designed for you to select what makes the most sense for you and your needs in your remote environment.